Hello, random YouTubers and friends. Welcome to the first episode of my channel. Today I just thought I'd post something interesting that I came up with a while ago. It's just a basic rail duplicator from Minecraft 1.11.2. I like this design because it's fairly cheap. It requires an observer block, but if you look up the recipe for those, they're actually fairly cheap. Comparator, one block that a piston slime block won't push, such as a melon. Furnace would also work, or obsidian if you have that, and then just a chest and hopper to collect the rails you're duplicating. So this design is actually really simple. What happens is you just flick it on with a lever, and it starts duplicating rails. And you should, probably add some blocks to the side. That way it won't go spraying out all over, kind of like what you saw there at the beginning. And it will just duplicate rails. And you can build up quite a number of rails over some time here. I've already got about half a double chest after running this for like maybe 5 minutes earlier. And it actually does work for any type of rail. It's the back rail right here that gets duplicated, so just swap this out for a powered rail, activator rail, detector rail, whatever rail you're interested in duplicating, and then run it. Now the front rail does have to be a powered rail. It will not work if the front rail is something that is not a powered rail. But the back rail can be anything again. This does not work for carpets, only rails, unlike the duplicators we had back in 1.11, but it's still pretty good. So the way this works is the observer block is facing into the piston and detects whenever the piston powers. When this happens, it sends out a signal that loops back, powers into this block, which powers this redstone, which powers this melon, which powers the piston again. Now this will just loop infinitely, so we have a lever here to turn it off and turn it on. If you turn off the lever, that causes a block update and the whole system begins again. Oh, I meant to use a sticky piston, my bad. So, this is expandable. I built an expanded version over here. Basically, with this one, you just pull out the clock between each version. They all have to be one block apart, so the slime blocks don't all merge together and break everything. But you simply just copy this part with the piston and the slime blocks and the rails, and you can make it up to 2 rails wide, and it will still work. And yes, you can still duplicate any rail here, even if it merges like this, it will still work. There has to be this space, of course. I did add some walls, but that's just really so that some of the rails aren't lost. Although, honestly, this thing will run so fast that these hoppers back here will fill it with rails faster than they can empty out to the chest, meaning that you don't actually need to worry about losing a couple. You will have plenty of rails after running this for just a very short time. Alright, so now let's go into a quick tutorial of how to build this thing, although by now you guys should already pretty much understand how it works. We just lay down 3 blocks in the ground here. They can be any blocks as long as you can place redstone on them. Put a repeater on 2 ticks, a redstone dust behind the repeater, a melon block or furnace block or anything that won't be moved by slime right in front of the repeater, a sticky piston on top of the melon block, some slime blocks like this. Now, it will work if you build it like this on single player, but sometimes if you're running it on a spigot or paper server and you build it on the upper half like it is here instead of down below, it will break the rails and then the duplicator will just stop duplicating after a while. So I would advise, just for consistency and to make sure your rail duplicator doesn't glitch out, build it down here and use that melon block. And then don't forget your powered rail on the front, your rail in the back, a block right here. That will be what the observer block runs into to power. Let me get out an observer block real quick. Observer block gets to run out of the back of the piston, so you can see it's coming out from the piston. And then just add the lever so you can turn it on and off. And now it's basically done. All you need to do is put a hopper in a little wall so the rails stop flying everywhere, and you're good.